for the very, very few people getting this message. We want to prove to the whole world that the impossible dream can happen.
Come around, it's going to make itself known, it's going to leave sometimes, it's going to be just amazing. These are amazing times. We're seeing some full reversal because who knows? Here we are. Welcome aboard One Whole Earth. I'm sitting in a tiny home that I built for our friend Renee, but we can't only borrow anything we ever live in, so we can just for a moment, and then we're gonna give it away. So if you want to get one of those, put your name in and subscribe. And later on this year, we might have a raffle, and we'll maybe give it away to some people. So you never know; you could be the lucky one. You know, luck is there's no such thing as luck in the universe, but there is cause and effect. So if you do one thing, positive thing for yourself or for another person, it could end up being, the thing you need to do to make this happen. You see, isn't that fun? I've been playing that game all day here, and it's been great fun. This over here on the West Coast, we are seeing. I don't know about you, but we went through a very tough, nail biter type of fear-based election, in which came right after the heels of a horrific fear-based protest against this regime that's in charge for the moment. And I say for the moment because honestly, it looks like they're not going to really be able to last through this thing. Remember, we're dealing with a convicted felon, a pathological liar, a convicted pedophile, and a woman that, this guy has nothing going on in terms of empathy or humanity, and this is gonna, it's pretty easy to see, and it's catching up with him, and it caught up. See, the last election was taken from us. I strongly believe if you follow, you're probably seeing me for the first time, so you don't really know who I am. My name is Atlanson, and I study the Hermetic principles, and I've been doing that for long enough that I call myself son of Atlan, Atlan's son, right? And but it's just to show that anybody can do this thing. See, this is the thing we have to remember, is that there was a guy named Jesus who became the Christ. And right now in the Vatican we have a guy named Leo. He took the name Leo, but he's just a regular guy. All of a sudden has become Pope. And now stories are surrounding him about opening up all kinds of, vaults and getting to know the real understanding, some of these hidden secrets. Basically, the hidden secrets are that you are the Christ. If you're watching this, I want to welcome you to the Club of Christ. Okay, because what this means is that you have somehow stumbled across or found your way to the point of the point, that there is only one way. If we see the graphic that I showed you earlier of us swirling around, we are not in charge by any means. Okay, we are clearly affected by, we're holding on, clinging on to a dust speck, traveling at, exorbitant amounts of speed. So here, this thing, Three Eye Atlas, shows up right in a certain amount of time it would take to get from Sagittarius to here after a big explosion happened about 15 years ago. And this thing shows up, and now that the anomalies just stack up on this thing. So it's hardly hard to refute that this is some kind of not special thing. Okay, it's got to be some kind of weird, specialized object. Okay, that's one thing that we can agree about. We can also agree that for the most part, it was exuding nickel, primarily only nickel, gas, and arsenic, I guess. Nickel and arsenic. Strange. In and amongst themselves, they're not really, they don't really, like you wouldn't say life and then think of nickel, gas, and arsenic. You'd think of that's a death kind of thing. Well, human beings, it sure is, but for a star, it might be just the thing you need to reignite a star. Now, the funny thing that we found, the other anomaly, the strange thing is that sure enough, okay, if you had one thing to attract another thing, if you were on a galactic level and you had two things that were going to be attracting each other, you might, if we were a human being, you would say hydrogen and oxygen, water, and then water is everywhere. We're always looking for water. We're saying that these comets are filled with ice. We're saying that these meteors have ice. We're always looking for H2O to be the primary indicator of something that's maybe possible for us to be involved with. But you see, we're only looking for our own self-interest, of course, because we're completely self-interested. We're just self-interested people. Okay. But when we become like universally interested, it becomes necessary to see that we may not be the only life form. Maybe there's another life form. Now, if you've been following some of the star seed information moving forward, I mean, I've been jamming it to Renee for the last year, and she seems to be a good student. But I think we've been talking with other people, maybe on this station right now. Maybe you've tuned into us again. Maybe you've come across us from another dimension, and you're like just checking in to see who's this guy with a cowboy hat and a white hat and a plaid shirt, But here's the point: is that we all have this gift if we want to look at it. And then, this happens in the universe that really wants things to move forward. We're in a universe that's controlled by the laws of the universe. Okay. And then, we're just little having this experience. Now, the thing that we've been talking about, if you've been following, I don't know what it's called, New Age, esoteric thinking, if you've been following what's now like the most prominent way of thinking, is that we are moving from a three-dimensional experience to a five-dimensional experience. And then a lot of people call us the crystal children, right? Like, this is the crystal child. We had the indigos, and I don't know who the next group of people were, but the next child was an indigo child, I guess. I was in that age group. And then there were crystal children that were being born. Now, these are people, but we were already crystal people, you see. But we're bone and fat and flabby stuff that just, gets sick and dies and gets cancer and gets, is basically one of the you see, the game, we play a game called survival, right? Everyone does it. Everything does it. We were just talking about that today. I saw something on the internet. It's that impulse. It's that thing that happens between men and women, and then they have intercourse, and then there's this connection between sperm and egg. I mean, what is that thing that drives those two things to start procreating and going off into a wild, and then next thing you know, there's a vertebrae and a kid. Okay, 33 vertebrae makes a perfect human. Okay, you need 33 vertebrae to make a perfect human. And that is like why 33 is the magic number in all things like esoteric, because that means you've become a whole person. See? So if you are basically connecting the spirit with the mechanics of it, then you're becoming a whole person. You're connecting, really, the highest level people are connecting their feminine and masculine at the same time, and understanding those two are the strength of who you are as a person. And that's when you really pull together, and that's when it comes together in the spiral. That same helix that our planet is rolling in is the same helix in the back of your neck. Mm-hmm. And that's how the same helix that starts at the lower chakras and moves forward up through the chakras. Are you getting this? Is anybody understanding what I'm saying? Renee, do you understand what I'm saying? Am I making any sense at all? Are you over there?
Yes, I'm here. Of course. Yes,
You
you are
making
making
coffee
sense.
over there, and that's great.
No,
Beautiful.
no. So this is making sense, although I know people are going to ask what a chakra is. Like billions of people do know, but billions of people don't know what a chakra is. I think I learned more about it through you. You sent me a meditation last year, and that's kind of one of my introductions. Do you want to go over that a little
Well,
bit?
it's a Kundalini. Do you have any graphics based on that stuff? I mean,
Yeah, let
everybody's
me
like
find it.
classic.
Yeah.
It's not anything proprietary, but I mean
Yeah.
the way your energy runs through your spine starts at the lower areas and then moves to the higher areas. And this is what my lesson was for today. In fact,
Okay.
I clicked on that same thing I keep showing you. I think I might have even shared it with you. I mean, early this morning.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing. It's like that simple. Understanding how simple it is makes it available to more people. So, and then if you want it complicated and ask a lot of stupid questions, go right ahead. But we're not gonna address silly questions. Questions for questions' sake, or I'm not gonna do any trolling. If there's anything negative, I'll never respond.
Well, we haven't gotten anything negative yet. I think that people are really in a mood of trying to get peace and harmony in the world. I've noticed that people are getting really empathetic and wanting to reach across the aisle and not be so divisive because people are
Okay, well,
just tired.
this is how we can get into some bigger stuff now. China. Remember, China has now stepped forward, and we've done this horrible thing. We've just completely alienated, and this buffoon has done such incredible damage that we're going to restart rebuilding. So today we're going to start thinking about what we need in the future, because we need to rebuild all of the things that were taken away from us. Now, as God would have it, I was put in the car, like a whole carload of people, 4 people from a community organizing foundation got in my car. And quickly they mentioned that they were self-funded and didn't have to worry about the budget cuts. And then we started getting into it. Started explaining, the history of Santa Barbara. And it's funny because one of the people was from my hometown in New Jersey. And we started talking about New Jersey because New Jersey and Santa Barbara, like Morristown and Santa Barbara, are very similar because they were Gilded Age towns and organized in such a way that just, there was the money and the means to organize roads and streets and curbs and gutters and setbacks and all these types of things. Stuff that you take for granted on the East Coast, in fact. But I guess more and more, you're getting that ridiculous, homogenous, bland shopping mall on the corner from the same designers that we have here. So honestly, you can't tell the difference these days from the corner in somewhere USA into the one here, because they've taken this model and just there's a Walmart, there's a Burlington coat factory, there's a bunch of storefronts and these huge warehouses. And that's not architecture. Okay, that's just moving goods and services, from the trucks to our mouths, down the toilet, honestly. But anyway, that's the cycle of things. It's the simplicity. So we want to definitely look at the simplicity of stuff. So remember that we can. That's all. Maybe that's all we can do is just look at something, take it apart, and say how simple it is. So, and then we can sit here and have a big idea. It's not going to hurt anybody to have a good, strong, big idea that helps other people. That's not a bad game to play. I mean, so anyway, we were talking about the game of survival. But here's the thing. We have this intellect. And the intellect seems to have this thing called a consciousness. Do you believe in consciousness, Renee?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think consciousness actually even continues. I don't think you can kill consciousness. So I think that consciousness endures even after what we call mortal physiological death.
Exactly. So if you're on that same path, and then other people who are watching this are on the same path, give me an up thumb, give me a subscribe, give me a like. Let's get to 2,500, subscribers. Because I mean, we have a little movement here. This is the point. We want to really turn this into some reality. The reality is that we're going to use these laws of the universe that were given to us by Thoth and the Egyptian people, the chemists at Chem, KHEM. We'll talk about that maybe in another show. But Chem is where Egypt is, and that's where all of this technology comes from. And they had the ability to tap into this technology kind of wherever they wanted to go. Now, the question is which came first, and then in which order, and different things. But each of these great civilizations before us were able to tap into the Earth's energy and do amazing things, okay? Now, this thing that is coming through our universe, like coming through our solar system, right? The first anomaly is, you see how fast we're spinning in that, Renee? See how fast we're spinning?
Yeah, so in this, I'm trying to put this back up again. You're talking about this, right?
Yeah, okay, well, you don't have to look at this. I mean, this is sped up, of
Yeah.
course. But you're talking about something that came from outside of our solar system to
Mhm.
come in and be at the same plane within
Wow.
3 degrees of Mars.
Mhm.
Okay? That is astronomically impossible. This is one of the things that is freaking people out. It didn't come in like a comet from an odd trajectory. It came in exactly like it was aimed in advance. That's the first thing. Then it's glowing and seems to be emitting this nickel gas. As I was saying, nickel and iron are like best buddies.
Uh-huh.
They are like peas and carrots. Like, that's the thing. We normally look for H2O to indicate life, but we are now presented with the idea of nickel plus iron as a way of starting some type of other
Right.
life form. You see, it's the other part. This
Mhm.
is when the others, like, we other everything.
Right.
So this is the other part. So these are the others. Now, turns out that and nickel and iron create some kind of a very interesting, like almost like the turquoise type of ore, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it's like becomes like a gem quality. What if we were locked? What if you were locked in a life of being a gem, a piece of crystal? You see, I
Okay.
mean, what if we go? So we're given the opportunity. Do you want to go to Mars? Like, if you don't, okay, here. Do you want to die, or do you want to go to Mars?
I want to go to Mars either way, so I feel
But
like
here's the catch: if you go to Mars, you got to go in as turquoise,
okay. So how?
and you got to live there until the turquoise turns into dust, and then reconfigures some million years later, a billion years later,
Oh boy.
into maybe a person again.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know.
I
That
mean,
that
Could
that's
you
cool.
wait a billion years to become reincarnated as a humanoid thing?
Oh my gosh. It depends how fast the time goes when you're turquoise. Like, because time is relative is
Well,
the
there
thing.
you go. Now, so wow, are you in that mental universe?
I am.
You are. Now you're in a mental universe, so you can make it up. Like now, this is where you have to be careful. Because
Okay.
remember, if we follow the Tibetan Book of the Dead, it reminds us that we got to be careful. We are so eager to go back and get some life that we might take a fucking job as turquoise just because it was the first thing that came around.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
You got to be
true.
careful. And then the next thing that comes around might be a dog or a cat for a while. You want to be a dog or a cat? Would you like to be a dog? Would you really like to
No.
be a dog or a cat?
No.
Would you
No.
really like that?
You know why? Because people, not everyone is good to animals.
There are
So
so
that's,
many people that are not good to animals.
yeah.
There is so hard. It's got to be hard to be an animal, but like you
Right.
can't even cross the road without getting hit by a car. But maybe that's another gift. So
Because like
once you
humans,
end it on a fucking road, then you can transform and please don't go back into being a raccoon. No, 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 don't be a raccoon.
no. Because people are the
Don't be a
most,
skunk.
people are the most dangerous of all the
And then we're
predators.
stupid as hell. You see, the thing, if you
Yeah.
don't know, if you don't get this information, right, from me or somebody else, or,
Mm.
it comes, then you have a chance of being like in that situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, the other one that says there's another, I don't know, because nobody knows. It's like a mental universe. So you got to be careful. Like don't pray to become a cat.
Right.
Um, But what do you pray for? You want to be okay. You want to accept your lot, and you want to pray for being the best person you can be, and
Okay.
how to help other people to be the best person they can be. Like so, this is the thing. So, for a lot of us that are showing up right now, our only job is to just be chill
Yeah.
during some hard times.
Well, that's a message that we need more than ever because so many people across the world have been choosing violence.
Not really.
What do you mean?
It just looks like a lot of people, but not really. Okay, like the main people are working, like the Chinese people, for instance, they're just working.
Mhm. Yeah.
They're just on some kind of thing. But there's not. See, Chinese people don't go for that shit about laying on the corner with a flag, looking for some food. Give me $20 so I can get high and a hot dog.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know what that's about, really, because I mean, I've tried being in that situation and it didn't feel good, so I did whatever it took, and my
Yeah.
natural inclination was to get myself out of that situation. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm seeing people right now in Art City. They're getting ready for a barbecue or something. Beers and barbecue and hang
Right?
out. If you're hungry, if you're cool, you can eat. I mean, it's like not that hard. And then there's places to eat around town. I mean, but I fell into a pack of angels that can show me, they show Pinocchio how to get around.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I wanted to read a couple of comments that were coming in as we were talking.
Okay.
Somebody said that she was raised in India and her Indian grandmother raised her on the chakras. and they're real. And then somebody else said that their acupuncturist introduced them to chakras
Of
and it's
course.
helped them.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So,
Good, good, good.
so a lot
Okay,
of
well then
people
let
are
me.
verifying that. Yeah.
So, well, okay, if you
Yeah.
show that picture, if you can find one, because
Yeah.
it
Let me
just
get
helps
that
people
picture
with
again.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
graphic.
Yeah. So for people who don't know or weren't raised, this is me. Like I wasn't raised on any of this, right? But I'm learning. And yeah, there's
Well,
entire health and
okay,
medical
but this is where
systems
the energy
based
comes.
on
Remember that we are right now a spark of the
it. Hmm.
star, okay?
Okay.
And in the universe, it only wants us to become our greatest person, right? Because
Okay.
the universe, okay, the way to look at it now, I think it's the new thing is the the galaxy, our flat galaxy is way like an eyeball.
Hmm.
And when you kind of compare it to that, now imagine that we are all on the other side of that black hole looking back at
Okay.
ourselves through this experience, you see. So
Ah, yeah.
we are working for the galaxy, okay? That's the
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
Everyone gets pooped out. Their job is to work for the galaxy, to have an experience. Sometimes it's only a few
Okay.
hours. Sometimes it's a few days. Sometimes it's a few, who knows what a life is.
Mm,
But, the universe, the galaxy is not going to stop producing life to see itself, okay?
that's true.
So now through you and I, it's been able to see itself in such a way. And through you and I and the people who are listening, if you're listening and you really want to be part of this big thing, it's the
Hmm.
tsunami, it's the movement, it's what we saw this weekend, it's what we saw last weekend. It's the beginning of Americans coming back to the fact that it feels better to give than it does to take. And that, when it comes down to it, we will give ourselves to the last to help another person, generally. The ones who are on this side of it, the white hats, find ourselves doing almost anything to help another person. And we got to stop ourselves sometimes because we can get too far into, because our job is not to save everyone. Our job is to be, to save ourselves and to be happy, joyous, and free, and to help other people when we can, but to be happy, joyous, and free. That's the goal. If you can do that, then you're showing the galaxy that we're having a good experience, right? Now, what's also happening so that's, I believe, how to play this game. The whole Earth game is about understanding that we're all connected and everything's connected. Now, moving back forward, the ideas are going to be, I need your help to pray on this and to think forward about how we're going to redesign this country's services once everyone goes back to sanity. Because
Mm,
now we have a huge opening. It's not going to happen this next year or anything, but we are going to kick these bastards out of here, and we're going to redesign the country to be the way it's supposed to be. You mark my words. I think we're on to it now. And let me know in the comments. Give me an up thumb if you feel like that's happening. You can even give me a heart. I could have a heart floating up if I wanted to. But
yeah,
the
of
point
course.
is that we want to have this thing working for everybody. It only takes a moment to make it happen.
Right.
It only takes a little moment, one more tipping point more to get us all to come to this other side. And the funny thing is, and mark my words, put this on your calendar when I said it, because it's just, once we turn the corner, it'll be like, what were we thinking? Why would we ever let somebody like that so far into our trust, And then we'll all just have a laugh about it, really, forgive ourselves. And then, I'd like to punish him, but that's not part of the deal. See, I'd like to punish him. It really didn't help the people in Italy when they hung Mussolini up and hit him with baseball bats so you couldn't see his face. but just pretend that we get that satisfaction. But that's not the way to do it. Am I right, Renee? Do you think we should hang him upside down and beat him with a baseball bat so we can't see his face?
It's like when you lose your temper, and you say something really mean to someone and you feel good for about 30 seconds and then you regret it forever. It doesn't actually bring you to the next level of consciousness, and it doesn't do you any good to, that type of thing is not helpful. That's why we tap into the Christ consciousness, which is at a higher level.
That's right. Like dragging this guy around the city and making him, will not do anything.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It won't. It'll feel good for half a second.
It just doesn't do anything.
It does not help. No.
You see, that's just like beating up on Mexicans for no apparent reason is not fucking working, man.
We don't want to become that other side, like that's
beating up on people for no apparent reason. Starving people to get your way is not going to work in the United States of America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't work. And, a lot of people are talking about Zohran Mamdani.
Isn't that great? We finally broke the ice. Okay, 2 social democrats. Yep. And what do they want? Why are they so threatening to this establishment? It's because people just need a basic 5 things. Remember the 5 things that we play in the WholEarth game? What are those 5 things? Remember?
Place to live.
Yeah, got that one.
Water, energy, food,
right?
Housing.
And then, well, that's housing. That's a place to live. The last thing is you need something to do to give back,
Okay.
You gotta be able to do something each day to get up and help yourself and another person. Okay? That's just part of it. But it's hard. Okay, finding the thing that helps another person and yourself, and that can pay the salary that you need to sustain a house in California.
Yeah,
it's just damn near impossible.
Yeah,
we're back really in the 30s, and so we have to come up with a new deal. And the New Deal is part of a new Green Deal. It's part of, that whole thing. It's like, I don't know what you want to call it. They're going to call it a red, white, and blue deal. Maybe. They'll come up because, honestly, AOC was the new Green Deal champion. And honestly, Bernie Sanders was right behind it. They were like really going after that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, sure.
Against all, into the
of course.
The basic status quo of the Democratic Party, the Green Deal. Well, because remember the folks from my book, Play a WholEarth Game, by the way, if you want to get a copy, you can get it right now on Amazon, I think. Try to get one. And maybe pick up one for your friend, and maybe pick up 10 for your friends, all your friends. Like, just,
Yes.
Thank you. 1 or 2.
And we have the link here. We have the link on the screen here.
Cool. You got that thing, and you got if you take a picture of that QR code, you can go to my website. Yeah. We can interact there sometimes too. But the point that we're getting at is we need to imagine what we want to have in the future. And I need your all help to help me get further up through the powers that be, because, well, but again, who am I? Well, I'm just a person like yourself who has been thinking about this for a long, long time and thinking, well, you got to start someplace. Let's just start. When the dust settles, what are we going to need? We want to go back to Gaza with the same game, okay? We want to go back to Africa with the same game. The Chinese are playing the game. Now, here's what's going on in China. Whoa, while we're looking over here, China's doing some amazing, they're leading the way.
Yeah.
Now, China, remember, is the source of this thing called the Tao Te Ching. And the Tao Te Ching is part of this, philosophy of simplicity, right? Like the way is the way. Now, when you see the spiral and the speed, we're only going the way. You cannot go any other way than that way. Do you understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way the planet is going is the way you're going.
The way the planet is going is the way you're going. There you go. Yeah.
Honestly, you cannot separate yourself from this planet while you're in a 3-dimensional situation.
Right.
So the quicker you reignite, you reconnect with your planet, the faster you'll be in the bliss state that you want to be in. Okay, now that doesn't, the folks, we saw that what was going on in Gaza. We saw you cannot help it. If somebody's bombing you, you're screwed. If you're in a tank, in a Russian tank, and there's a Ukraine drone following you, you're gonna die. It's over. I've seen there's this thing on YouTube they show about drones attacking personnel carriers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, there's 8 people in each personnel carrier. It's not a video game. Like, it's a real fucking deal. I mean, those drones are, and they're killing. They're not coming back for anything else. They go they're kamikazes. There's a dude in a forest 20 miles away. That's whack. Oh, that is it is so easy to disconnect from that.
Yeah. It's a good point. That's a really good point. It's really easy to. And I think
it's really easy to watch that, and not even think about
the
fact that these people are in there. Nobody mentions that. Like, it's like, it's like watching a track meet and watching the front runners get picked off.
Heck yeah.
Going, oh, that's fine. No big deal.
Yeah, and it's not. Yeah.
As soon as they cross the finish line, they get shot, and lay dead. This is what is going on. This is the kind of sickness that's happening. So we need to be able to know the difference. So if we follow the laws of the universe, we could just look at them to give us something to meditate on, which is other than what is really happening in front of us, to remind us that we are, in this place, So
right.
That's good. Most of the battery.
But I think just to mention Mamdani, I have a picture of him here. So because I know a lot of people are celebrating.
Oh no, this is great. Okay, this is really the beginning of it. And honestly, now see, this is the thing. So the Roosevelts came with socialism, democratic socialism, and were able to name it democracy or Democratic Party, because they kind of took the party back from the Republican. Republican were the working man's party until these times. I can't remember when it switched over. I'm trying to think when it did. Maybe do you know your history of U.S. politics?
I don't know that one. I'm trying to get that straight because we have questions about democratic socialist. Is that communist or not? And it's not. So communism is different than democratic.
Well, it doesn't matter. Communism, what the fuck? It doesn't matter. Nick, stop with the names, man. It's all good as long as the people are getting fed, as long as the people get clean water, as long as the people get a place to stay. That's what really is required. You can't function as a person without those things. You can't function as a living thing on planet Earth. Do you see those 5 things apply to all living things equally? Right? So I got a chance to talk to these people from Community Foundation, and we talked about this for a minute. I'm really good at elevator pitches. That's one of my favorite things to do. So I was mixing with Santa Barbara history and explaining that, the way to do it is to make sure you have these 5 things equally represented. If one is lacking, it has a chance to fail. And if one is lacking, it will ultimately fail. It's just a matter of time. It's not sustainable. What's sustainable is you have 5 things together. And, just consider any mining town, but mostly, Midwest USA. You got a little town with a farm around it. Everybody's got some chickens. They got a thing in the backyard. They got a little vegetable garden. Chickens and a vegetable garden, you can eat eggs and vegetarian meal all day long. If you have, that's why, butchering your friend, the cat, the beef is hard to do. You got to kill your friend, the beef, the bull or the cow or whatever you want to call it for steak. That's a hard thing to do. Growing your meat and knowing your meat. Okay, that's tough. But that's kind of what it comes down to. You have to know, we have to really go back to understanding what you need. If that, is not your thing, then you probably want to go with chickens and have eggs and vegetables that you grow, and you can be a semi-vegetarian for a long, long, long time, and that can actually sustain you. And now, at the kind of the end of times, the victory garden is what we're talking about. Do you have a garden, Renee?
Yeah, I have a little garden. I don't really have a green thumb. I have a brown thumb, but I have a little garden with, blueberries and some
Blueberries?
different roses and stuff like that. And um, different herbs, right? Like basil and cucumber, depending on the season. So just little, but like nothing too big. But I love and I admire the people that go all in on it. I have neighbors who they can grow like everything for their meals except for meat. And
Right.
I think that's beautiful. Being self-sustaining and self-reliant.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Self-reliance is the key. So, and then if you can't be entirely self-reliant, then you can help other people help you become self-reliant. You know, subscribe to a farmer's market, subscribe to a local, food type of thing. But you see, it's like diversity is the key. So diversity, inclusion, and equity. So diversity and inclusion equals equity. Isn't that something? Okay. So anyway, moving forward, what are we talking about? We had a complete change. Like it's a real breath that is being pushing back now on this ridiculous authoritarian bumbling idiot regime. And people are starting to wake up. So, I mean, you can't really, there's no, I mean, even the Supreme Court had to agree 100% in this last case about something that came, across that there's no case against Comey. There's no case against Letitia James. Okay, that's just vindictive, classic vindictive behavior. It's like textbook. For judges, they need to stand up for themselves, with the other judges. And then, law enforcement, Comey was basically a square-headed FBI guy, Nothing to see there. Let's look at the guy with the 34 felons who's calling, that's called when the pot calls the kettle black. Right? So what else is going on? We had, sea change in government, sea change in politics. We'll see if it goes on. Now, the next thing is to really keep the pressure on for the next election cycle. Okay, and then to really, open up this government and call it what it is. I mean, we need to restore these people money. We need to, take advantage. We're going to get hopefully some, a Democratic majority, and then they're going to pass a slew of bills that are popular for the people. If they don't, they'll just waste another opportunity. So that's what we're looking for in the long term. Are these Democrats going to fumble the ball again? I mean, more times than I can count, they had some control in the House or the Senate or both, and they just didn't do the big. They didn't do the big sweeping programs. They did just enough, but not the full Monty. And I could say that that's a fact, and that's why we're having this runaway inflation. That's why we're having these jobs, because they basically remember that back from Clinton times, they were offshoring the jobs because they could get cheaper labor rates. China was like, we'll give you cheap labor rates. We'll take your garbage. We'll do all these things. We'll be friendly for you. We'll we'll help you become the laziest people. And then we'll take care of you and we'll take your country too. Just so nice. Just come on in. Quick, friendly, food, everybody. But that's what we're doing, okay? Everybody who's here that's not a Native American, literally with the blood type required to be a native, you can't claim to be a native unless you are. So then, if you're not, then you're here, as a guest. And as a guest, the least you can do is be respectful, help other people, do the thing, live like a native folk, be respectful and have integrity. And, respect and integrity are the two things you can't really. You gotta keep them. You gotta keep them safe. You gotta keep them close to the vest. Now, what else? So we've had, this is the point. The people with integrity have got to stand up and against the people without. It's that simple, and of course, it's that difficult. What else you got today, Renee? What's on your mind?
I'm trying to answer different comments about, like, we have a couple of people who are in Europe saying they're not understanding what they thought the election. They're not aware of like the lower level elections. Can we? So we just had an election, but it's
Really?
not for the president. Yeah, it's not for the president. These were lower level. So when we're talking about so Trump is still the president, is what I'm trying to make clear to people
Yeah,
across
of
the.
course. Okay,
Yes,
so this is not the president. These were little teeny, well, bellwether elections to show that we're going to
yes.
stand up against the tyranny. It starts with a lot of small fights. And then, so what happened is there was a governor of New Jersey. There was a governor of Virginia. The first female governor of Virginia was elected. There was something that happened. And then a lot of little, like, judgeships these judges were reelected to continue to be the watchdog that they were. They were basically voted back in to keep doing the good job and standing up against the tyranny. And in all cases, these judges that were there's a couple of states where you have to be voted in again for another 10 years. Same thing, so they can fool around and gerrymander. Now, what happened really in this time is that there was so many people watching that they couldn't get away with any shenanigans. This is what happens when everyone's watching and everyone's involved with the politics, is they can't get away with the shenanigans. Remember, the last time we had an election, it was stolen by these people who are now sitting in jail, some of them. That woman with the white hair and the back problems had to have her special mattress. She was disallowing thousands and thousands of votes. On one person was doing this. There was a group in New York State that, again, right at the very end, everybody voted Democrat, but nobody voted at all for a president. I mean, enough to sway that particular region. And this happened over and over again, enough that we know, I mean, when we start to really peel back and we don't want to sound hysterical. We don't want to sound like Trump did about you are dirty, rotten, vote stealer. No, these guys are literally dirty, rotten vote stealers. Okay, that's what they did. But it's this weird feeling I get about somebody who wanted to teach us a lesson, because Harris won the vote. With a little bit of pushback, she could have exposed the whole situation. As a former prosecutor, what would stop her from moving forward? What stopped Gore from looking forward? He won the popular vote. The hanging Chad is ridiculous, okay? Another election stolen in front of us, right in front of us. This last election was stolen right in front of us, and no one talks about it. That's how you know that there's collusion in some kind of weird way that we can't see. And that's how we play the games, because we just look at the evidence and make your own decision about it. And if you smell a fish, there's probably a fish back there. This is the thing about this 3-eye atlas, okay? There's anomalies, right? It was all nickel going to an iron planet. It stopped by the sun. It looks like it got hit by 3 or 4 solar mass ejections, like broadside hits. and the thing seemed to absorb the sun like it was a sponge. Okay, did it even slow down? We don't even know. I mean, it was like going so close. It was less than 1 astronomical unit away from the sun, which is like basically touching the sun. It's like Venus is in that realm, man. It's just getting burned up, Venus. And so then it comes in and it does a flyby Mars, and then it's still back there, but we're now able to see this thing coming around. And then the other weird conspiratorial anomalies, weirdness, okay? The day we were able to get the best view is the day the government shut down. And the cameras from NASA seem to just be turned off. And that's kind of like the weirdest thing. It's like the magic bullet from Kennedy. Oh my goodness, the magic bullet from this last ridiculous assassination of Charlie Kirk. The magic bullet. That's the thing. The kid that we think did it couldn't have done it. That's all I'm saying. But here we are. We just take it. Whatever. Crazy. We are so gullible. It's hard to be around watching this go down. Anyway, but the things that no one's talking about. So be the one. I don't know. If you like what I'm saying, maybe you think I'm crazy, then you don't have to come back. But if you think what I'm saying has any resonance and does it resonate with you, then give me a like and subscribe or something. But see, because this is what's going on. It's like there's stuff going that we can't see. So the bigger picture. What is the big picture? We know this one thing for sure. Going back to some sanity. I think there might be some sanity. These hermetic laws of the universe come to us from ancient Egyptian wisdom. They get retold and repackaged, but they all lead to the same direction. All these religions, different brands of the same hot dog. Okay? It's all in there. Now, you got here, you got there. What you're doing is you are ascending into a spiritual person having a human experience. That's it. Now, your human experience is directly connected to this galaxy's desire to see itself and how it's doing, because every living thing wants to know how it's doing. And we are what it uses to find out how we're doing. And probably, and that's this creator type of thing. It's all based on that vortex and that spiral. Okay? Let's take a look at that again. And let's give us a second to really enjoy this graphic here.
Yeah. Can you see it? All right, let me put the music on. I'll put the music on.
Yeah, trying to put the music.
I love this too.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Can you put a link up to where they can get this?
Yeah, I will. Good idea. Yep.
It's not a perfect representation, but it's not very far off, I'm thinking.
Right, yeah.
I mean, look at that. Our little star is busting through. Now, we're also busting through the heliosphere.
Yep.
We've come to another place, in the part of the galaxy. We're going through one of the arms of the heliosphere. Getting hit by a lot of, that's maybe another reason this thing shows up. But nothing happens for chance, so everything is because something else made it happen.
Right.
This is the one law, because there's no luck about it. Hey, good luck today. Well, there's no such thing.
Yep.
But I'll do my best to, control the outcome by doing positive things, having gratitude, moving, doing my best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Do my best.
Do
It's
my
the spiral
best.
of life. I mean, this thing never, it keeps repeating over and over again everywhere that life is its vortex. So
Yep.
for your chakras and Kundalini, we never did get that graphic, but
Yeah, we did. We
we
had it
did.
on.
Oh,
Yeah,
had it up.
yeah.
I didn't see it. There
Yeah,
you
it
go.
was on.
But that same double helix is found in that same chakra,
Right, right. It's
right?
very similar, right? Yeah.
Right. And so then once you know this, like you can go up and down and move the energy around your own body,
Wow.
right? And you can
Wow.
use that energy. So the energy that you're using in the lower chakras might, cause you some addictions.
Okay.
And then as you move forward up through, then you start to lose those addictions. You start to nurture the heart as the center.
Good point.
And
Yeah.
that rises up through, the brain. So your mind, body, heart connection.
Okay. That's right,
And
because
then
everything
you're
is connected.
into, like, and then you're stepping, like what we're doing is we're blasting off into different parts of the galaxy now.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
mean, then if you're into any of these big games, I mean, we should have Star Citizen. We might do a couple of episodes later about some of my favorite video games.
Oh, yeah, I was
But
gonna ask you about that because I found out today that the video game industry is more influential and makes more money than, like, all the other entertainment combined or something, more than movies, more than books, more than music.
yep. And the
So
number one was this the thing called Skyrim, and that was the number one seller for that year.
okay.
And
Yeah, you
then
introduced me to that, yeah.
yes, and then Star Citizen is the next one, and they produced that too. So Star Citizen now is like, you're jumping into your spacecraft and you're flying off the ship and you're
Mhm.
coming to a new planet and you're exploring a new planet in
Okay.
far part of the galaxy. I mean, that's the thing. So I mean, somebody was trying to say that with all this they can't find another place like Earth, and I'm like, I hate to tell you. They found
Oh,
so
boy.
many places like Earth, they can't count them all. There's like too many. Okay.
So we have so much more abundance of life than we were led to believe, right?
But everything is alive.
Wow. Wow.
See,
Well,
everything is alive. See, so we are connected to everything by this spark, but we're like dangling
yeah.
on our own for about 80 years with this little spark of life, tottering around a planet,
Yeah.
that really is like filled with fucking, gravity, and everything's heavy, it's slow, and then you got
Yeah.
to talk to people. And like you can't
Mhm.
just imagine stuff like it used to be. It used to be we just imagine it and it would happen. Now we gotta
True.
wait for shit. Dude,
But
if you don't
you
say the
know
right things, they stick you on a corner and you get to do nothing. Or they put you in a field, or they put you in a cage,
yeah.
or they put you in a cage, or they put you in a tank
Mhm.
going somewhere with a Ukraine fucking drone
Oh my
locks in on you.
gosh.
Like, what is going on with those guys? Does anybody say a prayer to them? Can
Oh,
anybody feel the
yeah.
pain of these fucking people getting blown up every
Yeah.
minute? I mean, is that more clean because they're in a car or in a truck? I mean, you can almost see bodies flying out of this thing. But I'll tell you what, I've killed my share of fucking, of things in caves and, bandits and whatever in these games. That's the thing. We go, I mean, there's a lot of killing associated with a video game that's making all that money. And so it's very difficult to kind of like rationalize, how we get ourselves involved with that entertainment. Is that entertainment? I just thought that was wrong, but
Yeah.
I went along with it to some degree.
Well, that's a good question because or does it provide an outlet for some of our primal needs where we do it in a healthy way?
That's why the law of polarity is another key element of understanding how to navigate life, right? So polarity gives you the
Yeah.
idea that there's always two sides, right? Okay, so the idea that there's always two sides, there's two sides to everything, and then you have a side and I have a side. They will never be the same side. It can
Yeah.
never possibly happen that they will be the same side. We can agree, but it will still not be the same. That's the coolest thing. I mean, this is the wiggle room of these laws. You know, it's like wow. Whatever I decide, I decide. Whatever you decide, you can, but it doesn't really, can't really affect me. So anyway, so these like, but there's killing going on. I've killed a lot of things, but I mean, it's almost like you can definitely watch these things and get totally hypnotized. Like it's just no big deal. That's sad. It means we've done something else. We've kind of transmuted, and that's what they were talking about today. Is how do we, while we're alive, alter our DNA through experience? There was a lecture that I was watching this morning. So how does your experience alter your actual DNA? And then your experience alters your DNA to the point where it's always going to be different next time. Wow. That's weird. So how does that move forward, right? It just, through consciousness, right? Did you have to have an offspring? I don't think so. I think offspring are fucking overrated, to be honest with you.
What do you mean by that? You gotta
I
go.
mean, the idea that you got to have a kid in order to be complete as a person is ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. So you don't
Like,
buy into that, or do you feel
I
like
don't buy into that at all. No.
really? How did you change as a person with parenthood?
Well, parents, because that's the point, is that when you make other people, they're other people.
Yeah, they're autonomous beings,
They're
right?
other people.
Yeah,
They don't have any, there's nothing in the contract that says they got to do anything.
true. Yeah.
That's it. That was no big deal. I mean, that's not necessarily a kind thing to do to yourself. is to is to bring something in that's never going to really be. Sometimes it happens, I guess. Sometimes there's some kind of thing, but it's a desire by both people to want to do that kind of thing. That's a special deal, right? But whatever. Your job is to be the best you that you can be. And even if you have a child, you still got to be the best you can be.
That's right. Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
Okay, even if you
Yeah.
do have a child, you got what? You gonna change? No, you got to be good. You have to be a good person anyway.
That's right. That's right.
And
What do
then
you
now you're making yourself. You see, that's the thing. So
Yep.
some people do it. My son has done it with this dog. He brought a dog into the house. But the dogs are different because they are fully able to handle their own self awareness. They'll figure something out. The dog will generally do it, or it'll get killed, or whatever. But given and dogs are great. They're great teachers because they're always happy. They can always find a way to get happy.
Yeah, and they're very in tune with their human handlers and human companions, they tend to and they can help us medically too. They can smell,
All
cancer
that
and
kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they do all
incredible.
kind of stuff. They can, well, mostly like seizures and things. They can tell right
Seizures,
away.
yeah,
Yeah,
infections, like they're
all
really
that
good
stuff.
at that.
Well, because dogs are dogs. But that's the thing. They can only be that happy. See, that's the thing. I think that if you're a really fucked up person, like if you go and do some heinous thing, like kill another person, I think that you might spend a whole life as a dog and then remember it, for the same thing we talked about. Like you have to be obedient, you have to be subservient. That's the only programming they come with, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting a comment right now where someone said, "Yeah, dogs evolved to be in tune with the humans around them. They make our lives immeasurably better." Yeah,
Right?
totally.
But they don't.
I
They
get it.
subjugate their own free will.
Okay. Good point. Yeah.
They subjugate their own free will, but for the benefit of they will do that. They will do that, and they will subjugate their own free will. But I don't know. They're such great. That's the point. You can always learn. I've had great dogs. Now cats. I'm having a whole cat thing, new cat relationship, and they are some funny people. Cats are.
What's your are you new to cats or did you grow up with
I
cats?
grew up with cats, but cats were always like their own thing. They don't give a damn about people.
Right, they're very independent, right?
They're
And they're
so
almost
independent. It's hard to
yeah.
find a cat, but I got a cat that like wrestles me to the ground when I come home, and like another one
Really?
announces me like, "Oh, here, blah blah blah." It's like having a dog kind of. And then those are interesting, yeah, because we're kind of mushed together. We got everybody at the house, and then there's a dog and two cats, and they're just like freaking out. Like, when are you gonna get rid of this fucking animal?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the animal, like the dog, is a squirmy little, like a puppy kind of doggy, squirmy, just squirmy, squirming. That's the only thing you can really explain. You can only, describe it as just squirming.
Yeah, very squirmy. That's a
You know
good
how they
word.
are? They're all back and forth. They're always with tail wagging, squirming around,
Yeah.
nipping, biting, but not. Anyway, it's fun. She's a great dog, but
Yeah.
you know, not my dog. My dogs were like heel, sit, stay. They got very little, but they had, they knew their space, because when you get certain dogs, they have certain attributes. Now, that takes a lot of I've had a lot of dogs, and everybody has a spot. Everybody has a little spot. So that's the fun thing about dogs. All right, hey everybody. So anyway, what's going on in this time? Last week we came to the end of the world, and now we didn't die. So we're all reborn.
Isn't
Now
that a
it's
nice
time.
feeling? Isn't that
Now
like
it's
a
time
really
to
good
forgive. I saw this big sign that said,
yeah.
we're gonna pay. We're happy to pay taxes for you people, so you can have a better life. Because we forgive you.
It's a good point. Yeah,
We
that's a
love you.
really
We forgive
valid
you.
point. Yeah, very
Yeah.
valid.
And that's what's going to happen with socialism. Because if Mandani follows the Muslim way of going, then no one goes hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Is he
true.
Sikh?
That's very
Is he
true.
Sikh Muslim? Is he Sikh Muslim?
I
That's
I don't
Hindu.
know if he
No,
yeah, that's him. That's
that's Hindu.
Sikh is its own thing, but I don't know what type of Muslim he is, but
I
clearly
mean,
he's
okay, a run-of-the-mill Muslim in America is just like any run-of-the-mill anybody.
he is, right, he
And
is. And
then
he
at the end of the day, Muhammad says, "Let's all sit down and eat and have some place to sleep tonight." I'm pretty
mm,
sure Muhammad's talking about food, water, and a place to sleep tonight.
right, right.
Somewhere in there, there's
Somewhere in
got to
there
be
because
those
we have
things.
that all united in humanity of doing that. And I mean, Mamdani, I just saw him. He had these Baptist preachers who prayed over him and all, he's very connected to the Jewish community in New York. He's not going to sit there and be any different than like you said, than
Well, he
any
looks like a
other
very
American.
charismatic peacemaker guy
He
to me.
is. He is.
And then the
Yes.
more that goofball threatens him, I mean, honestly, we just got to get that guy put in jail. He needs to go away.
I don't know that
This
he's
whole
gonna even
thing
survive that long. He doesn't
needs
even
to
look
go.
that well. Yeah, I think that,
Well,
Trump is
he's
on his
trying to
way
kill.
out.
He's trying to die so that but he's just he killed. He put the heart. He put the stake in the heart of America when he started with the wrecking ball at the White House.
Right, right, right,
That
right.
really,
That was
man, that really hurt. I think everybody took a little moment to just like, that was so not cool. And now we got to build it better. But we're going to do better than what he thought. Because that's, I don't even know. Like, we got to pull all that money back. And then everybody has to go back to work. Like, listen, once we get a real, true majority of Democrats working for people in places where they can really do good, I think we're going to see amazing things very quickly. But I hope not too quickly that we forget how bad it was or could have been. And I don't know how to teach. See, it's very difficult. The problem with the Democratic message is it's been like it's going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad. Like, but it is going to be bad. Did they make it worse? But they couldn't have made
Yeah.
it. I mean, how could they make it better? I mean, you can't. It's a bad. They're caught between a rock and a hard place, and everybody sees this. We just did this whole thing, and then the gerrymandering's not going to work either these days. You know what I'm saying? Some things did it. Some places are going to. I mean, Florida's going to redirect and stuff, and then it's going to be more to redirect. It's going to be fun. I mean, this is good. This is good. You know, getting everybody involved, kind of politics. Nothing wrong with this type of politics. This is the kind of good old American stuff that really works good. The problem is you can't fuck with your reputation too many times before people just throw you out. But I think they're going to give us a powder if we can get rid of this guy Trump. You know? So that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to stay focused that way. Now, everybody watching, do you really have an issue with what's right and wrong here? Because if you do, you need to go back and learn that other lesson again and again, because we're not going to play any weird games here. Just kindness. The one that we forgive everybody, all right? Darn it, because those are the two hardest things you're ever going to do. Hate is the easy way, and it's never going to work. Okay? So then we're going to get past it. We're going to come around the other side, and then we're going to build stability and really rebuild the liberty for everyone. You know, I don't know. Make it in a more perfect union. That's the whole point. We're trying to make a more perfect union. It's hard. Perfection is almost impossible, of course, right? That's the impossible job. Okay, what else? Okay, well, okay, here China. China's moving forward. China has technology, China has the wisdom, and China has millions and millions of robots that are going to be taking over all kinds of things and doing the work. And the Chinese people maybe get a chance to stop working so hard. I have each Chinese person will have an army of robots to control while they're sitting on their front porch eating rice, I guess, while the slaves are out there, the robot slaves are out there in the fields doing all the work. So this kind of plantation robot, well, here you go. I mean, Elon Musk has his fleet of robots. They're a little bigger too, huh? They're a little taller. He just didn't even wait. He created a superhuman to go in and build cars. Mm-hmm. And then Amazon's getting some superhumans to go ahead and pick your packages. Mm-hmm. We're going to find out how that's going to end up in the next decade. We're going to find out if I think people are going to be revolting, but it might be too late because there's too many robots, and they'll just keep doing the work. And there's nothing to do here for you. There's nothing to do here for you, which is why we got to work on this thing. Because remember, you need 5 things to make a whole system work. What were those 5 things? Come on, Renee, help me with this,
So
man.
you have
Housing, water,
housing, water, food,
food,
energy.
energy, and jobs.
Yeah.
Occupation. Occupation. Now, occupation and job are 2 different things.
Okay.
This is a good time to stop. This is not the job, okay? Job means just above broke.
Okay.
Just over broke, right? You know that. Do you ever hear that before?
No, I haven't.
You
No,
never
I
heard that
didn't.
before?
Nope.
Okay, that is it. That is the core of every sales pitch to make sales people.
Really?
Because a true salesperson has no limit to the money they can make selling whatever
Okay.
they're selling.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Right? The world's greatest
Okay.
salesperson, salesman. There's a story about Jesus Christ being the world's greatest salesman. But basically, it comes down to the fact that you still got to be, forgiving, and so selling is what's going on, but we have to sell ourselves. We have to sell ourselves to ourselves. We have to fucking, we have to get into this whole thing. So I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought. What was I thinking about?
Well, you were talking about forgiveness also at some point, which is very important at this point because we have a divided nation. And one of the things that I think came to my
Okay,
mind when
hold
you
on. Let
said
me
that.
stop you there. Let me stop you. Because that's the thing. We do not have a divided nation. We have a very, very together nation that has been divided by a few wacky concepts that we thought we had figured out. Now, we were on to something. If Kamala Harris had been elected, we would have been able to continue on the Biden growth and the prosperity that was given to Donald Trump, that he has squandered in the first month by having Elon Musk come in with a hatchet and kill everybody. 600,000 jobs in a month is a murder. That's a massacre. That is a bigger massacre than any type of killing. That is a more despicable type of situation. And nobody even is talking about it. Imagine Kamala Harris taking the thing. We had 3% this and that. We're upswing. I mean, look at the stock market just before Biden was replaced. It was high as it has ever been, and you can see it right there in the charts. It's just phenomenal. So if Harris had come in, we would have just continued forward. I think we'd be doing. I can't imagine. I have no idea. I can't even think what we would be doing because it makes no sense to think that way because all of that stuff does not even exist anymore. It's literally a flat plane on the level of all of those bureaucracies and 600,000 jobs that were just terminated in one fell swoop, plus the other ones that are just continuing on. And it's when is it going to stop is the question. I think now might be the turning point, but we're going to have to continue to buckle down. It's going to get more painful in the next months. And we all told you so. I mean, Renee, you and I were talking about this before the election, weren't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't we talk about this that we did not want to experiment with this Trump thing?
Yeah. We didn't want to experiment with it. What else do you want to say about that after now that we've had this kind of big win yesterday?
It's a small win. It's a first win. It's a big win because it's a win. It's a decisive. It really did. I think, but you can't see. You cannot assume anything. Okay. So here now and listening to this podcast are in a we crossed over into a new area, and now that because we can see it, that makes it real. But I mean, leading up to now, we have been it was very it was just fearful stuff. So, but we're not done with it yet. I mean, this is just the beginning. Now we got to get the Congress to be a majority, and they're going to do everything they can in the next couple of months to you'll see what kind of thing they do, and I think people are going to be pretty disgusted when they see it. And now these MAGA folks, are starting to taste it. It's a bitter flavor when you're eating that what I call a shit sandwich. You know, but there's a taste that you just can't get out of your mouth, and then once they get it, and then we're cool with it. Like we can handle a blow. This country can handle a couple of blows, and we can forgive people, right? Like the kids these days are not buying this hate stuff. It's just not going over. Now, as much as they try, there's no amount of young people who are going for this thing. because most people are kind of black and brown and a little bit brown, a little bit pinker than dark. I mean, I'm different colors. Like, look, it's not no white people here. Like that, no black people either. So, on we go.
That's a really good point, by the way. And I want to say that the new generations that are coming up now, they don't think in binary ways the way that the older generations have. So we are turning a corner where there's more diversity and there's more, understanding of nuances and things that combine us together rather than, I think you're totally right about that.
So I gotta move to a place that has more light, and or maybe we can be done because we had a good talk. Anything else that's really? Let's go ahead and wrap it up. So
Okay, so
let's go ahead and answer a few questions, but like just keep it positive.
yeah, yeah. No, everything is positive. I want to say to everyone who's watching that you've all been extremely positive, and I think you guys exemplify what we were just talking about with forgiveness and care. I saw more than one comment saying that people saying that they're anti-Trump, but they love all people, right? So we're
Right.
not seeing that hate carry over. Somebody else said that yes, there's one United States of America, not two. So that's true. So I think we're starting to see that we're breaking out of the binary system. And I think that's a good way to wrap up, to say that we're all kind of we all want that. And there's just a few rabble rousers. Wouldn't you say it's just a very few number of people who are trying to maybe profit off of fake animosity or try to like start something for some kind of a business reason,
Well,
right? I
there's
mean,
always a few provocateurs. It's the
provocateurs, that's the
provocateurs
word.
that
Yeah.
come in and
Yeah.
they throw the bomb and they make the thing happen. But no, what's going on with ICE is just sickening. No one wants to see this. And the idea of, beating up on Latin folks for no apparent reason is not going over. Okay? We all know folks. Yeah, pulling people off a roof, you know, coming into somebody's business and pulling their guy, 25 years, friends, working together, got a job, just trying to make money, and then, arresting people like that. This has got to end. And then we have to have laws to prevent that from ever happening again. But we have the people with the vision. I believe AOC is one of these people with the vision. I think she's a great person. I think that Jasmine Crockett's in there with the great. I think that the libtard social media is really doing a great job. You know, and I'm proud to be a libtard, man. I am just so dumb that I want everyone to have the same things that I have every single day. Just have the same five things, right? Something to do, a place to sleep tonight, clean water for everyone, the highest level of clean water, not, nothing else, just clean water, because that's what we need to build our body. We need the best food. Let's design and eat and cook and enjoy the best food we can think of. And with those five things, we can live happily and forever after. And I think that will carry through to your next life experience as well. So on that note, what do you say, Renee?
All
Let's put up
right.
the
All right. Good
let's
night,
put up
everybody.
that
And yeah,
flat map.
people should come back for in about 40 minutes, right? For some music. Should people be tuning
Oh
back
yes,
in?
if you want to stay with us, by all means, you're all invited to come. I will be just at one or two cameras. I think we'll have one or two cameras,
Okay, so
and
tune
we're gonna
back in,
have Darren
people.
and
So
Karen,
just yeah,
and we're gonna
Darren
have
and
our little
Karen.
town, and it's gonna be fun.
That's
That's right,
right.
six
So
o'clock.
at the top of the hour, so wherever you are in the world, at the top of the hour, like a little over a half hour, just go get yourself something to drink. Come on back right here, exact same place, top of the hour. All right.
Hey, you know what? Wait,
What do you, what?
well, since we have time and all that stuff to wait, let's just go ahead and put up my work with David Moore,
Oh yeah, David
my
Moore.
video.
Let me go get that. That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
we just put
It's
that
so
up for the whole
beautiful. It's
20
so
minutes.
beautiful. All right, let me pull it up. It's
Well, we
actually
can talk about that stuff if you want to stay on. We can
so
talk. I'm
so
just gonna move over to the studio.
talk about David Moore. Why don't you set it up for me and then I'll put it on.
Cool. Maybe I'll just sit like
Um,
this. That's cool. Let me find another
I'll
avatar.
do the one with the I'll do the one with the
Oh, yeah.
vocals. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Yeah. I'm gonna play the one that has the vocals with it.
Oh, okay, good.
So this is David Moore, and they can find him at davidnmoore.com, right?
Uh-huh.
And he's the
Okay.
singer. You were playing the drums on
Well,
this.
yeah, and then Raphael's here too, so somewhere.
Okay.
Okay, let me hold
All right.
on.
Do you
I'm
want me
gonna
to start playing the video? Do you want me to start playing it?
yeah, play that way. I'm gonna move over. I'm gonna move over to the studio.
Okay, that sounds good. And I'll have the music playing. Why don't I just put it on the stage and we listen and watch the beautiful video?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
here we
Hey
go.
everybody, we'll be over there in a minute.
All
By all
right.
means. Okay, cool.
We need the rains of your justice. We need the winds of your spirit. Because the heartbreak of heaven is what we feel. We need the rains of your justice. We need the wind of your spirit. Because the heartbreak of heaven is what we feel. We need the rays of your justice. We need the winds of your spirit. Cause the heartbreak of heaven is what we feel right now. Let it rain. Let it rain. Open the floodgates of heaven. Let it rain. Let it rain. Open the floodgates of heaven. We feel the rains of your justice. Need the winds of your spirit. Cause the heartbreak of heaven is what we're feeling right now, right now. We need the rains of your justice. Need the winds of your spirit. Cause the heartbreak of heaven is what we feel. Let it rain. Let it rain. Open the floodgates of heaven. Let it rain. Let it rain. Open the floodgates of heaven. This is our prayer. We need the rains of your justice. Need the winds of your spirit. Cause the heartbreak of heaven is what we're feeling right now, right now. We need the rain of your justice. Need the wind of your spirit. Cause the heartbreak of heaven is what we feel. Let it rain. Let it rain. that block our view are ever giving way. Monuments to hopelessness, we would not let them stay. Faith now wars with sight, but will not lose the fight. Lead on, waymakers, lead us on. Lead on, lead us on. We know that you are with us, lead us on. We are trusting every day that you will show the way. Lead on, ancestors, lead us on. Many a device was used to force us to despair. Our rivals were so clamorous, they threatened every prayer. But holding to our hand, the ones who said we can, lead on, waymakers, lead us on. Lead on, lead us on. We know that you are with us, lead us on. We are trusting every day that you will show the way. Lead on, ancestors, lead us on. Now when our end in victory is nowhere to be found, and this lesson we have learned, we will never let us down. We'll fight on through the night. Our bond will be our light. Lead on, waymakers, lead us on. Lead on, lead us on. We know that you are with us, lead us on. We are trusting every day that you will show the way. Lead on, ancestors, lead us on. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling it. Breakthrough, break through all our lies, break through all our fears, break through that we may worship you. Oh, break through all our pain, break through all our guilt and our shame, break through like only you can do. Break through all our lies, break through all our fears, break through that we may worship you. Oh, break through tender friend. We'll never be the same again. You are brighter than our darkest night, stronger than our toughest fight. Just one touch from you, our tender friend, and we'll never be the same again. Break through all our lies, break through all our fears, break through that we may worship you. Oh, break through all our pain, break through all our guilt and our shame, break through like only you can. You are brighter than our darkest night, stronger than our toughest fight. Just one touch from you, our tender friend, and we'll never be the same again. You are brighter than our darkest night, stronger than our toughest fight. Just one touch from you, our tender friend, and we'll never be the same again. Break through, break through, break through, break through.
Hey, are you ready to come back on?
And
All right, here we go. We are back. So, hello.
look, I got Raphael. I gotta change some things. 1 second. Let's go ahead with the camera. Let's adjust with the camera. Adjust the camera. Adjust the camera. Just a second. I don't have any. I don't have that. Okay. Okay. Forget it. Well, that's it. Okay. Well, so here we are in the studio, portal to the next place, and we're going to be doing Darren and Karen in a little while. So, but it's not going to happen until 6. What we were talking about is what's the most important thing this week that happened?
The most important thing this week that happened to this.
You follow politics at all?
Yes, just to the radio.
Just the radio?
But
You get together more. There you go.
I'm not allowed to talk about politics because
Because you're black and brown?
no, because I'm immigrant.
Because you're immigrant?
Yes, so.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I let you in this place?
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
Yes, but because of that, anyone who's a migrant in America doesn't participate in politics.
No. Why would you?
Yeah, so.
Can't,
And then strangely, the politics talk about those who are migrants, but it doesn't serve them good. So
Well, you see, that's the
barricade.
point. Is
That's
that
a barricade. Yeah.
what's going on is insanity.
Yeah, so.
There's not one thing because you, my friend, right? I mean, you're that. So
I've been learning.
we don't give you services. You cannot get insurance here. You have to bring your own insurance. I guess you get it some.
No, I get insurance
Because
I
of
work.
work.
I'm a resident.
Yeah, and you're a resident.
Yeah, so.
You see, but California didn't really go to the extreme of cutting people off like the way
I mean,
like they think they're going to. Actually,
hey, see.
no one has actually been cut off yet.
Yeah.
And the rates haven't gone up yet.
Well,
Because if we get this extension in the Congress now, none of that will happen. But if we don't, it will. So they're coming in to play like, wait, so we have to stop, because we let everything go. Like these people are playing by the rules, but the Republicans right now are not playing by the rules. They're playing by the rule of a monarchy, and it's un-American. And now America, the rest of us, are going to the polls finally, getting involved with politics, and showing up.
Yeah, that's a civic duty.
That's a civic duty.
Yes, it's important.
Now, in your country, do you vote for things? Where are you from, first of all?
Mozambique.
Mozambique. I know. Are you voting for people in Mozambique?
No, I don't vote anyone.
Anyway.
Anyone. I just mostly, if I would come as define myself an artist worker, because wherever it's in between, I'll be working, I'll be making art. So there's no, I never heard many politicians actually talk about art anywhere in the world. But they want to change that around the world. There's people like across the country or the world, they still vote. I don't.
Right.
Yeah. I personally.
Well, there's some countries that'll come and make you vote, and they will fine you if you don't vote.
Yeah, but me, because in my country,
they don't do that there.
Because we are multi-party there, and then as well, you're allowed to be neutral, which is part of it, our business.
Right. So being neutral is another type of vote.
But now they want to change that.
Yeah, of course.
They want to obligate us to vote. So that's, again, it could be late because I don't have an opinion about it.
Well, voting is a great power. It's used constructively. It's a great power. So making you do your power, I mean, that's an interesting thing too. But anyway,
I've been learning from everyone. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a blessing. Because I'm not voting. I've been learning from both sides how they both act.
That's right.
So that way,
That's right.
I learned from both sides.
That's right. Well, the learning part is, that's the end. That's what we were talking about earlier. Is that at the end of the day, it comes to love and forgiveness, as it is, and that the people, no matter what they did, it's going to be okay. We can take the hit as long as we move forward and restore some of the
accountability is important.
Accountability.
There's a love and forgiveness. There's accountability. And then accountability is a law as well. It's not just a word, it is a law.
That's right. You have to be accountable to the law, but we can't even hold the horses yet. With the way we're doing things right now, we have to get back to square, some accountability. It is going to happen. But now it's going to happen. See, this one is like the one that we needed to somehow prove that our elections are going to work. We needed one time where they didn't get completely fucked up. The last time Kamala Harris won, I'm going to tell you this. This is I strongly believe this, that through voter suppression and machine tampering in New York and all throughout the country,
but she lost.
They had people. Well, she lost, but
constitutionally, we gotta be democratic. So to be democratic, I think it's just to accept the loss.
She didn't lose. She lost mechanically.
Yeah,
she didn't lose
physically. As a Democrat, you don't complain about the loss.
See, now that's the thing. You can't complain about the loss.
Yeah,
you got to move to the next one and make sure that the next one is tidier than the last one. That is, I know, and that's taking the higher ground. And it's what it really frustrates me. Taking the higher ground is not cool when Gore loses the election. It's not cool when, Kamala Harris lost the election. It's like there was they did stuff to make them lose, and we just sucked it up. And that's weird, okay? That is weird, because when you have the law and you know that you've been wronged, you would go to prove your case, right? I don't know. I mean, my dad was like that too. We got a case. We can do it. We're going to win. He's like, no. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this other thing about nothing.
Yes.
Doing no thing is just as hard as doing 10 things. And if you don't do 10 things, then you don't have 10 things to undo. So
because it takes a resource to do that. It's a counterattack.
And then to know that we've been fucked with for the last 30 years is just something you have to just put in the bank and just hold on to, because that's not going to go anywhere. You know, you've been fucked with for 30 years that I can see clearly, 40 years probably,
Well, no,
50 years, honestly, if you think about the, well, the assassination, I'm
the
60.
changes are drastic, you know. So
They are drastic. And
yeah,
they
so
are
the
just,
changes are drastic. They're like a slip slope.
they do. They build
So
up energy and then they release.
you gotta take
You
the
know?
fall.
And luckily, I mean, we might have hopefully dodged a bullet. But I wonder if we can figure out how to get our education back in line, how we can turn education back into
You just gotta
remember
do it.
it's to be cool. Then it's to be honest. Then it's to follow the golden rule. And then, you know, all
It has
that.
to be done.
I mean,
It has to be done.
you gotta have
It
diversity.
was
You've
done
gotta
before.
have inclusion. You've gotta have equity. You've gotta have these things.
But just to be done. It was done before.
It was done. It was almost perfect, and then they took it from us again. It's really bad. Cheney, man, this guy Dick Cheney, talking about him, he just died on election day. Can you
Rest in
believe that?
peace, man.
Rest in peace, right? See? Oh! People that are so quick to forgive.
Rest in peace.
Darn it, I want to be angry for a minute.
No, you cannot.
I don't want to be forgiving right now. I want to be angry and I want to see, but I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine what it was like when Mussolini got his head banged in so hard you couldn't recognize his face. What they did, you know. They hung him upside down and everybody had a chance to take a baseball bat. They had a cricket mallet. I'm sure it was cricket mallet. And they beat him.
Well,
Beat his corpse.
that's
You know?
old stuff. We don't have to do that.
You see, that's what I was saying. We don't have to do that. We can imagine what it was like, and that's enough satisfaction. Because in a mental universe, you can do anything.
But,
remember what they did to Christ, you know?
So,
In that one movie, you remember that? The Last Temptation of Christ? Oh, man.
The third part, he would be there and thinking that he was God, and then when they found out he wasn't God, they did what they did to Christ. So.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't God.
And
They
even
beat him
Christ,
up.
he was like, I'm not a God, dude. Like, God. I'm just son of God, but we'll be all right, dude. Whatever. That's the theater.
That's a theater.
Yeah.
No kidding. And then, but the reality is that we're all this consciousness of universal consciousness, and we're all having an experience right here. And pretty soon, Darren and Karen, we got Steve in the house. He's getting ready for the Darren and Karen experience. And next thing you know, there'll be a musical theater happening. It's going to be good. But in our case, I mean, that's what I was thinking, is that we would work on songs in the key of life. I was going to bring that to my jazz class, and then you were just like, I'm not ready for it. But I mean, but that would be kind of cool on my side. That's what I would bring. But
What?
the songs on the key of life, Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
And then, but whatever, I mean,
So
anything
for somehow
in
I just heard the Kiev, like Ukraine.
that, yeah, the key of Ukraine, that would be cool too. I was talking about that with Renee, thinking about how they show these drones attacking troop transport vehicles. Have you seen that?
People, children.
The troop transport vehicles
Yep.
in a line, right, on a road,
Yep.
and they send the drones in. Okay. Each one of those has 8 people.
More than
That
that,
are
it's
blown
like
up.
civilian, like buildings. Have you seen buildings?
They just fucking, but these trucks are filled with people.
Yep.
And each one of them is being blown up for smithereens.
Yeah. They have
It's
that.
like sardines, and they're not even Russian.
They have that
cars.
shit on YouTube.
They do. They have it on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can see it. They go for hours.
Violence.
And then these ships. They went after these ships, man. They fucking went after this ship.
It's all televised.
It's all done with drones, man. US 8,000. These drones are worth like $800, and everything that they shoot at is worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Isn't that crazy? Like what?
So me, I just
See, he's got this drone.
with my high fly.
Yeah, take a look. Let's turn that camera around. Turn the camera around.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. Raphael is doing Look at this drone. This little thing. It's taking pictures of us. It's all controlled by. It's controlled by somebody in China.
No, it's not here in California. It's for kids.
It's for kids. Here,
Yeah,
like
it's
drones.
indoor. And then work with the motion. Your hands. Just motion.
Look at that.
Yeah. So you can play inside the house. It makes you move because even the kids.
It makes you move. See,
Yeah,
that's what you
walk
need to
around.
make you move, not anything
So
else.
move your hands. It's indoor drone. It's just.
That's the way. Keep this way. Stay this way. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh. Isn't that fun?
Yeah. So it gives you the cardio
Wow, look at that.
because it moves through your body.
Yeah, isn't that fun? Well, that's great. That's really great. Well, look at that.
So my drone cannot go anyway.
You what?
My drone cannot go too far to shoot people.
Yeah, right. Can't go that far, but they
So
do.
it's my indoor
Oh,
drone.
shoot. No, stay.
Yeah, so this is just it's called light chopper.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for like 7 years old to me and other people.
Okay.
And indoor, so it's good the kids and everybody.
So you use this new drone to get exercise instead of going out and playing a soccer ball.
Oh,
Where's
no.
the soccer ball drone?
Well, that's why I have the stepped on my toe.
Which one? The soccer ball
The
drone?
the pink toe. So
Oh, man.
yeah, I'm not wearing shoes. It was bad.
They try to get you, man. Try to put you out, right? Kick you
Yeah,
out.
I know.
I bet they come after you. You didn't believe that stuff, man. They're fucking nasty. These people are
The
for
guy
blood.
stepped on me and it was a big guy.
He was a big guy. He fucking tried to break your foot.
Yeah, I did, man. So I went to doc. I have to go next.
I mean, that is the trick of being a pro. Is not getting fucking stepped on.
No, they will.
Dude.
And then I'm not running that fast like I was running when I was 20. I'm on the foot. I'm the elder probably in that league. You saw it.
What?
In the league, I'm the elder, still running.
Elder? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's not like, oh, man. Go.
25.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it's like,
Wow. You're really coming around, man. You're doing everything. So anyway, we're getting ready for the big Darren and Karen show. Right over here. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. We're getting ready to set up. We're getting between the two. Can you help me with this? Try to lift it up. Can you move?
okay. Good.
Yeah. Let's get it out of the way. You can see the Steve. Stone-faced Steve.
So let's keep in touch. I'll move tomorrow later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but listen to that kind of music and then see what you come up with. Maybe we have
Did
something
you send me
that you have better. Maybe you have a better idea.
do you have the music on your YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, want to.
It's just that's the most like I don't know. It's something about it. It would be really cool to just master that. It's a very simple
Oh, want to.
thing. But you singing it, playing balafon to it instead of singing, use balafon to run do the lyric, the vocal track, and the balafon. It's almost like ASMR. The whole thing would be two drummers, and then two drummers and sound from the other guy, percussionist. Boom. Horns over here. It's that same groove, wrecking crew. Let's just do the fucking Ventura strong wrecking crew.
It's deep, man. You gotta use that knowledge.
This stuff is just insane. It's like New York style, underground stuff going on.
I wanna get good in this that I
It's like Blue Reed.
still, yeah, I wanna get good in this that I can be like dancing with it.